back here, and we're still at Main Street Comics and Games. And here we see the games. I'm here with Kevin and, I'm sorry, Jeff. Can you tell us a little bit about what's going on here?
Well, we just played a game of HeroClix, and it was the first time that the Twilight Star characters were involved in a HeroClix game. We have official, unofficial Twilight Star HeroClix here. You know, get a shot of these. This is the Crook, which is my character that's appearing in the Twilight Star books, and this is Legacy, which is Darren Church's character. And they went up against Project Superman from the new Superman set and Silver Banshee.
So it's almost like you had the Twilight Star versus the Superman family brawl going on.
Yeah, it was the massacre at Metropolis, is what we like to call it, and it was. And basically, the Twilight Star characters were taken out by Project Superman, who took himself out to do that, versus the Crook. And the last two standing was Legacy and Silver Banshee, and Legacy took himself out of the game trying to take out Silver Banshee, who she had one click left. So very evenly matched. We were talking about it. I was afraid that at first it would be the Twilight Star clicks would be overpowering, because they have a lot of unique abilities, they're all within the game mechanics of HeroClix. Nothing's out of proportion, would you say? Just kind of a uniqueness that's added into it for flavor of the Twilight Star universe. Versus the DC universe, it went very well. I think evenly matched, and it was a quick game, and it worked out pretty good.
Let me ask you, I've played HeroClix in the past before. It's a widely popular game. What goes into making not only just the custom character, but the power set? I mean, how do you prevent yourself from saying, well, my little guy here's got,
he's got everything under the sun.
Exactly.
And he can do anything, and after you play him once, no one's going to want to play it again.
Yeah. How do you find that good balance and power set?
It is, basically, especially when you're dealing with your own characters, your friends' characters, you got to let go of ego and try to make it find the things that make it fun. What about those characters make it fun? It's not always fun just to go in and beat the crap out of someone.
Yeah, squash everybody.
Squash everybody. Yeah. It's kind of neat. Like, the Crook has a special ability that no other... Well, he has one thing. He has undead, which is part of his descriptor. So there's no other character that has the undead descriptor yet, which would be something you build a team around. Would be if there were other undeads, you would have multiple undead characters on there. So that's unique to him. Also, another thing that he has is the Curse of Anubis, which friendly characters can target him with their healing abilities to do damage to him. So it's almost like turning an undead character, in Dungeons and Dragons. You can actually cause damage to him.
Okay.
Which I don't think there's no other character.
There's no other character where support does not work with it.
Right.
And this would actually hurt him to be the target of support. And it's a really unique dynamic to the game, because if he had a healer, it would have been worthless in this environment, for him to have a healer on his team, because he didn't have anybody that he could heal. And that actually is something that I've noticed that HeroClix has just recently gotten into with the new power sets, is putting those characters' weaknesses in. And I think that Kevin did an amazing job of putting that weakness into his character. It's one of the few figures in HeroClix that cannot be healed, and this is the first one that would actually take damage from somebody attempting to heal him.
So that being said, that was kind of like the basic driving force behind these characters to make them unique, and they are kind of a little step above the stuff that they're putting out right now. But everything's catching up to that level where everything has this uniqueness about it. So you can do multiple things, but the trick is to throw out the ego, try to make a fun piece, and just have fun with that. Where you can make it competitive. You want to make it competitive. So on a 300-point scale, very successful, I'd say, Twilight Star HeroClix.
Absolutely. This is the most modern HeroClix that are offered on the market right now, the DC Superman set.
That's exactly, when you pulled out the Project Superman, wait a minute, that's a pretty neat custom. And then I look, wait, no, that's legit. That is as up to date as it can get.
That is a NECA WizKids figure. And, it went toe-to-toe with the Crook, who's in his point value. and he did well, you know. But the Crook, I mean, I was a little leery when I first saw it. It's a 200-point figure that can't fly, that doesn't have the traditional invulnerability, all the things that make those characters cost so much in this game.
Not your typical power set.
Yeah, not your typical power set for that point range. But I mean, he performed amazingly well. I mean, he took Superman halfway down his dial, you know, all on his own, without any help from his supporting characters on the field. And it didn't feel overpowered, though. I mean, it felt like Superman was taking the kind of damage that he would take from a 200-point character.
And a mystic at that.
Exactly, yeah.
You know, so it actually kind of worked out that the mystical abilities of the Crook kind of worked on Project Superman, because there's a power that he has in the comic book series called Creeping Shadows, where he basically takes control of the shadows that surround anything, and he can make them do damage to other people. They also induce like nightmares and these things like that. They make you face your fears. That doesn't really translate a whole lot into HeroClix, but what it does do is when you can make it do damage to a character. So at one point that happened. The Creeping Shadows work.
And if you're going to go up against Superman, it's good to have a mystic. Everybody knows, you know, Superman, one of his major vulnerabilities is magic, and that's one of the characters to take after him. Now, I have to ask, those are amazing sculpts. The paintings and everything. What kind of work goes into making your own custom?
Well, a lot of the work is done. It's just finding the pieces. I kind of, you know, now's a good time to talk about. We're so close to Halloween, but I feel like I'm Dr. Frankenstein when I make these things, because I literally have a toolbox full of like heads and torsos and arms and legs and pieces that I can make characters from.
Right.
And sometimes I get lucky enough and I find something that looks just like them. You know, this is the same scale as like Warhammer 40K, Dungeons and Dragons work around the same scale. So you can find pieces from other companies and things. And what I do is I take them and just kind of hack them up and put them together how I see fit. You know, according to what someone needs. Now, there's also sculpting that is involved, like the cape on Legacy, his hood, the board itself down here, which is a modified piece from another set. I just basically sculpted some on there. All this stuff you see back here, which is it's supposed to be the creeping shadow effect of the Crook, is all hot glue gun. So yeah, so I make a lot of effects with just a hot glue gun, and then the wires just is a copper wire, and that's really, I use that a lot to pin the pieces to make sure they stay fit, and also, you know, it's kind of it's just a nice pliable material to use, you know, to make effects like that. But so I would say I usually, on one piece, I can put anywhere from like 5 to 10 hours, you know, and just whenever I can, kind of thing. So, a lot of times the brainstorming comes in on the dials. It's trying to make the dials. And we were talking about dials, you know, earlier, just about things to do differently on the Crook to tweak a little bit, tweak here, and that's what this test play is all about. Is just seeing exactly what needs to be done to make them completely compatible with HeroClix, which they are right now. I mean, there's no real difference between what I'm putting out and what the other companies are putting out, except for these are very personal things. End up being characters that you might never see print in a HeroClix universe, right? But you know, here in Springfield, you know, we got some comic book characters that need clicks, so
yeah.
You know, it's kind of nice to have an option to make those characters. You know?
One of the things that I love about these two characters that I played today is, you know, being a HeroClix player myself, I didn't read Flashpoint until the Superman set came out, and I'm like, whoa, what is this power that Project Superman has? What is this power that this Aquaman has? And, you know, after playtesting today, I want to read about the Crook. I really do, because, I mean, I want to read about this guy that can potentially take down, you know, Superman, and does it without the traditional superpowers. You know, totally mystical, very different from, you know, your usual, you know, smash and grab and uninvulnerable guys. You know, so it's really great that we have these pieces to highlight, you know, not just the figures themselves, but also the comics that they're coming from.
Well, guys, it was an absolute pleasure. It was a pleasure watching your game.
Thanks a lot.
Keep your eyes open if you're a HeroClix player, because Twilight Star Studios and the Crook just might be coming to a table near you.